Hi guys, I'm here with another episode of Qastor's Deck Profiles. This episode is going to be on a new deck I'm just getting into, Dimension Police. I'm running the Enigman ride chain. I got all the stuff off my roommate and friend who has gotten deep into Dimension Police and really started using the super dimensional Dayusha Cross Ride deck that I'm sure most of you veteran card player watchers are familiar with. But I started off with the Enigman ride chain just like he did when he first started playing Dimension Police when they first came out. I really like the deck, and especially with all the Dimension Police support that's come out recently, I feel like it could really be competitive. Right now, I just have it as a friendly play deck, so there are no perfect guards in it. I don't really plan to make it any more competitive than this for now, especially since I don't still quite know what I'm doing with it, but in general, it's a really great deck. So I'll start off with my starting Vanguard, Enigman Flow, of course, with Ride Chain. When Enigman Ripple, the grade 1, rides this unit, you may search your deck for the grade 2, which is Enigman Wave, and place it in your hand, as with most rank 1 ride chains that came out in set 4. Triggers, I run 4 heal triggers, 6 critical triggers, and 6 stand triggers. It's pretty standard with this type of Dimension Police deck, especially since the way I run it, you have to have a bit of an order to your attacking, doing some rearguard attacks first, and then hopefully staying them back up to get another at least attack, if not a full column attack, and then the crits to keep the pressure on. So I run about half and half, because I'd really be happy checking either in my drive checks. Let's look at some grade 1s. Of course, I have 4 copies of Enigman Ripple for the ride chain grade 1. He gains plus 2k if Enigman Flow, the grade 0, is in the soul. And he has the alternate skill that all grade 1, rank 1 ride chain cards have, which is when you place him on rear guard, you may choose a grade 3 Dimension Police from your hand and discard it and search for the grade 3 of the ride chain, which in this case is Enigman Storm. I also run 4 copies of Karen Roy Daisy, the 8k vanilla booster. It's very important to me to run the vanilla cards in this deck that are in it, the grade 1 vanillas and the grade 2s, because of the fact that this type of deck is very imbalanced. It has low power boosters like Enigman Ripple that you are stuck playing anyways, and it has low powered grade 2s that have great skills that you're stuck playing, and you have to put something behind it. So Daisy works great as an alternate ride if you miss the ride chain, and she also works great in the boosting position because of the fact that she will help balance out the deck a lot. For grade 1s also, I have Speedster. He's a nice little grade 1 that has the auto skill of when placed on rear guard, you may choose another Dimension Police and give it plus 2,000. Of course, as any of you that have been playing Dimension Police know, Dimension Police is focused around the Vanguard, so this type of skill we're always going to put on the Vanguard to increase its power to hopefully gain our Vanguard skill. So plus 2k goes a lot of the way in this deck, especially with the grade 3s that we're running. Enigman Storm, of course, 2 Speedsters or a Speedster and a Grander will gain you plus 4k on your Vanguard, and if you got the ride chain off, you'll have the 15k necessary to get his skill, which I'll read to you later. And then if not, 2k goes a long way with Enigman Rain, which is the other alternate grade 3 that I run, which I will show you in a bit. The last cards I run for grade 1s are Glory Maker. I run her at 3 since I'm not running any perfects, because of the fact that she is a great Vanguard booster, kind of a reverse limit break booster, because of the fact that when you get 4 damage in your damage zone, she gains the additional 4k that makes her 10k booster. She goes great behind either Rain or Storm, depending on if you get the ride chain or not, hitting either 20k or 21k, and if you're going for Rain skill, then you'll be hitting 22k anyways, so you'll be hitting a nice powerful column 3 stages on any opponent. I run her at 3 because, again, I don't have perfect guards, or else I would replace Speedster and a copy of her for perfect guards. For those of you that are interested in turning this into a competitive deck. But 3 copies with 3 Speedsters suffices, so that way I can use Speedster's skill occasionally, and I can also pretty much guarantee getting her at some point early in the game to place her in a boosting position behind my Vanguard and set up for all that good heavy hitting once I get to grade 3 in late game. So looking at grade 2s, I only run 2 copies of Enigman Wave for the ride chain. Grade 2 because 1, he always tends to show up somehow, and 2, because if you get the ride chain off with the grade 1, you don't really have to worry about finding him, and you really only need need him on Vanguard, because after that his skills are useless because they are only on Vanguard. But I run 2 because I have the space, and also if I do miss the ride chain completely, I may happen to pull him out of the deck by luck, and get to ride him for grade 2 so that I can still hit the ride chain with grade 3, get that extra plus 1k to make him an 11k defender later. But he does have an interesting skill to note if you do get off the ride chain. His first skill, of course, is that he gains the plus 1k for having the grade 1 in soul, and then his other skill is that at the beginning of your attack step, if his attack power is 14,000 or greater, then he gains the auto effect when this unit hits a Vanguard, you may draw a card. So he can get you, net you 1 draw on your turn 2 ride if you have a card like Cosmo Beak, or if you happen to have 2 Granders on the field for whatever reason, so you have a grade 2 heavy hand. He can net you that extra card, gets you a small advantage, but it's nice if the attack hits and the opponent lets you get the skill. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, we have to run vanilla cards in this deck, so Twin Order, the nice 10k Beat Stick grade 2 vanilla card. He's great to throw Enigman Ripple in front of because of the fact that he is 10k, so he bounces out a 16k column. But in general, he is necessary for balance, and he's a great stand target too if you're going up against an opponent that likes to use 10k Vanguards like Great Nature or Grand Blue or something like that. Next, a very staple card for most Dimension Police decks that don't have something that gives their Vanguard the power. Specifically this deck with Storm needing plus 4k and Enigman Wave needing plus 4k to get their skills activated. Cosmo Beak, he's an 8k, so once again Karen Roy Daisy boosts him out with 8k, making a total of 16k to make a good balance in your columns, so you're not making poor low attack columns that possibly won't even hit your opponent at all. His skill is important, Counterblast 2, when he's placed on rear guard, and you may choose your Dimension Police and give it plus 4,000. Of course, you target the Vanguard with this skill, but his skill is very important for every turn. If you can place one from your hand, the best way to do it is place Cosmo Beak, Counterblast 2, get his skill, and then intercept him away so you have another place for the other Cosmo Beak, so you can chain his effect each turn and keep your Vanguard getting his skill. If you don't get your Cosmo Beaks, a great backup is Masked Police Grander. He also works great with Enigman Rain because, unlike Enigman Storm, Rain only needs plus 2k to activate her skill. So having 1 Grander, where you would normally have the 1 Cosmo Beak, not only saves you 2 counterblasts, but it still gives you her skill for the price of 1 attack. And again, you can put Karen Roy Daisy behind him because he's also an 8k attacker to make it 16k column just like Cosmo Beak. And Grander, unlike Cosmobeak, is a little more stable because of the fact that his skill hits every turn for plus 2k, as long as he attacks the opponent's Vanguard. So, in that case, Grander doesn't really necessarily have to be intercepted away unless you have something better to put in his place. You can just keep him there and keep chaining his skill every turn to gain power on your Vanguard. His skill is, when this unit attacks, if you have a Dimension Police Vanguard, your Vanguard gets plus 2k until end of turn. So again, either 2 Granders to get Wave skill when you ride Wave that turn, or Storm skill when you get to grade 3, or you can just use one of him to get Rain skill, or you can combo him with Speedster and gain the plus 4 that way, if that is what you have to work with. It's all just about getting the skills with what you have to work with at the time, and making sure that you plan things properly so that you're not either coming out with too little power to attack your opponent and get the skill, or too great a power that you're not going to be wasting power that you could get from skills like that for the next turn to get your Vanguard's effects again. So the grade 3 for the Ride Chain is Enigman Storm. He gets plus 1k for having Enigman Wave in the soul, making him an 11k defender. And he has the auto ability that at the beginning of your attack step, if his attack is 15,000 or greater, so again he needs the plus 4k, then he gains an extra critical until the end of the battle. So, that being said, again, chain with Cosmobeak to gain his effect, basically a Counterblast 2, add power and crit for your Vanguard, kind of. And then also you can do 2 Granders. If you have those columns set up, give him the plus 4,000, and you can do Speedster or a combination of those. The reason I run 2 is because of the fact that you can use Ripple's skill to get him by placing Ripple on rearguard and fetching him by discarding a grade 3 that is not him from your hand. But also, if you do miss the Ride Chain, it is best to forgo Enigman Storm entirely, because it is much harder to gain his skill due to the fact that the 15k, just like Enigman Wave, is based off of him getting the plus 1 for completing the Ride Chain. So if you miss the Ride Chain, you're at 10k, you get plus 4k from Cosmobeak. Unless you have a Grander on the field or you have a Speedster to place from hand, you're not going to get his extra critical skill. And so it'll really hurt you to ride him and try to get his skill for having less power on him already. The 1k really makes a difference in this deck. So in that case that you don't get the Ride Chain off, I would suggest instead riding my backup Vanguard, Enigman Rain. Her skill is pretty simple. At the beginning of your attack step, if her attack power is 12k or greater, so give her plus 2 with Grander or Speedster, or if you want to go the plus 4 with Cosmobeak because you have no other choice, go for it. And then she gains the auto skill. When her attack hits a Vanguard, you may stand one of your rear guards. So this way you run a standing deck instead, and her skill, since it's only plus 2k to her to gain it, is much easier to get, much easier to run. You can chain it with Grander over and over and over again, and easily just make this deck run like clockwork, especially with the stand triggers in the deck. And then, of course, my favorite grade 3 possibly since I bought her is Miracle Beauty. She's a great rearguard grade 3, one of the few good grade 3 rearguards in the game next to Palamedes for Royal Paladins. Her skill is that during your battle phase, when this unit becomes stand, if you have a Dimension Police Vanguard, you may choose another of your rearguards in the same column as this unit and stand it. So, if you get a stand trigger, target her, give her the power, and stand the unit behind her. Or, if you get Enigman Rain's skill off as well, you can stand her, stand the rearguard behind it, and get another attack. Say you get a stand trigger in the Twin Drive also, that's perfect. You can stand her and another rearguard of your choice as well as the card behind her. And if you get really lucky and have a great day and get 2 stand triggers and the attack hits, you're just standing your entire field back up for another onslaught. I'd only recommend putting one copy of her on the rear guard column and then saving the rest in case she gets killed because your opponent perceives her as a threat. Because you won't really want to try and have two of her to stand to make two good columns, especially since you'll need either Speedster or which can be placed behind her, or Grander on the field to keep chaining Rain's effect to tie into her stand rear guard behind her effect when she stands. So in general, you want to be sparingly with her, but she is an excellent card and important to make this deck run. Alternately, I may choose to do something that you all may also want to do if you really want to get into Dimension Police, which is to forego Cosmo Beak, run another grade 2 of some sort, forgo Wave, run full Grander, full Twin Order, and then also run some copies of a Operator Girl Micah, I think it is, the grade 2 copy of Magician Girl Kirara, Counterblast 2 and attack is to draw. And then you can put 4 Speedster in instead of Enigman Ripple, and then of course put in the perfect guards, and then have Camera Daisy and drop down Glory Maker to 2 copies, and then possibly run 8 stands, 4 crits, or whatever you desire to. Take out these 2 Enigman Storms and run another Miracle Beauty and another Enigman Rain to run an Enigman Rain deck. So really, Enigmans are a great way to start off Dimension Police if you're looking to get into a Dimension Police build. From that, you may want to expand into Dayusha, that's your choice, but Dayusha and Dimensional Robos in general are much more expensive. So if you're looking for a casual learn the game deck, this could also be a very good deck. It's very cheap. All in all, I don't think it cost me more than maybe, I don't know, $40 to put it together. And if you wanted to get perfect guards, that would be another maybe $60 at best, depending on where you buy them from, eBay or whatever. And then you'd have your first complete Vanguard deck. So this is an excellent starter deck to go with. I may do another video additionally later when more Dimension Police cards come out, but that may be a long way off, and I may not even still have this deck since it is casual play and some of these cards do still trade a good bit. But that is the end of the deck build. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave any comments below about other Vanguard videos you'd like to see, either deck profiles of different clans that I haven't shown you yet, or tutorials on how to play, different strategy videos. Hopefully either before regionals or after regionals, me and some of my friends will get together and we'll do some actual card fights for you, and I'll try to post them up and put some battle report results for you guys and see if you like that. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck and try it out. And stay tuned for more next time. Subscribe below.